In this video, I'll share the highlights of my time on the east coast of Jeju Island. I'm here on Jeju Island. Hopefully you can see the love sign in the tree. There are signs everywhere that say we love having you here. It's a very lovely place. I came to South Korea because I've passed through Incheon Airport in South Korea several times, and one of the times I had Starbucks Jeju green tea, and when I got home and started running out and found out I couldn't order online from Amazon for less than like $60, I decided I had to come back to South Korea to taste Jeju green tea and stock up. But it's so much more than green tea. Jeju is just a lovely island. I feel like the culture is a bit different than in mainland South Korea. I've only been here a few days, but I think the people are perhaps a little more, there's a little more eye contact. There's a certain degree, a little bit more openness is what I found in the past couple days, but still not a lot of English spoken. So I've downloaded an app to try to learn a little bit more Korean. I've learned 안녕하세요 is hello or welcome. So trying to get more familiar with the language while I'm here. But I really like Jeju Island so far. I'm here for a week. I may extend it. It's just such a lovely place. And so as a full-time traveler, one of the luxuries I love that we have is deciding if we like a place, we might extend our time. If we don't like a place, we can shorten our time. And of course you can do that as a traveler too, a regular traveler, but especially when you want to extend your time, it's a lot easier as a full-time traveler. Jeju Island is a volcanic island, and I've just seen a crater here that I believe used to be a volcano, and the point is that usually volcanoes go up, and this one is flat as a crater. So many interesting things to see here. I'm looking forward to what's next, so stay tuned for more in this video.
Okay.
Wow! First Asian South Korean cows I've seen. Yeah. Oh my god! Bye. He's not concerned at all.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He would say, I don't care.
I know. You have to pedal really fast like you're on a bicycle to get this car started, and then you just have a great time going around and seeing the scenery. Lift your head up! Woo! Hello. Hi, goat. Hello. Oh! Black pigs are supposed to be the best to eat in Korea. Hi, black pigs. Nice to meet you. I guess we'll be eating you at some point. Not you maybe, but a different one. Hi, baby. Oh. And we've now gone full circle, and we're about to say goodbye to our fun rail bike experience. Unscheduled tour stop. And from what I understand, this is a Unesco Heritage site. I was so excited to see these women divers. They are in their 50s, 60s, 70s. They can hold their breath for like 3 minutes, and they're diving for seaweed and other fish like abalone, which they will sell later. Not only is it impressive how they can hold their breath, but I don't know how they lift these bags. They are so heavy. When you come to Jeju, you have to try the mackerel. It is delicious, and our tour guide was kind enough to correctly prepare it for us so we could eat it more easily. 감사합니다.
Guardian.
Okay.
The number of bars in front of a house represents whether the owner is home or away, which they're explaining to us here. The woman in this video is one of the sea divers, and they're explaining to us how they go about the diving, that she can hold her breath for 3 minutes. It's pretty fascinating.
문이 두 개 있는 집이 옛날에 좀 대감집 잘 사는 집이었어요. 다 이렇게 하면서 지금도 그 우리 행사 때는 이걸로 하고 있어요. 지금.
Okay.
The tour that I'm on is wonderful because it's a smaller tour. I booked through Klook, and the driver has asked us to hurry and be on time as we visit each site so that he can take us to some extra places. And so we are now in one of the non-itinerary extra places. We also got to see those women diving because I just asked if we could do that, and he made a quick stop so that we could. So highly recommend this tour. We've come to see a cave, and it says to follow the blue arrows, but I was looking up. They're actually on the ground. You see a lot of these statues of women carrying water because the women carried heavy water, as you saw in the village we just visited, which there were very few men on Jeju. I guess they sent prisoners over, and the women, in order to keep the men here who, without rain, without enough water to grow rice, and it was a difficult living here, had to encourage them to stay. So the women worked very hard, and I guess the men grew lazy, but so the women would carry the water in those heavy jugs that you saw at the house and village that we just visited. And it's quite impressive because the jug by itself weighs more than I would want to carry, and that's without water. The Korean language, as I understand it, it's like a puzzle, and it's very neat to see these three words here. You see that there are typically two characters that comprise actually two words in one, if you will, especially with this Cheon. So really neat way to see the language in action. All right, so we are heading into the cave. I'm going to try not to fall down the steps as I go there. I just took off my sunglasses so that I can see in the cave because I had them on yesterday, and it was quite a chore to see in the dark when you have dark glasses on. So I guess this is a blend of nature and art. Very interesting. I don't know what that's saying, but I presume I shouldn't go any further. That side's very clear. This has been a beautiful cave. Wow. Neat collaboration of the art with the nature, as they said, and it looks like they're going to be evolving it until 2027. I guess these are proverbs. A millstone that was pulled by horses. Another village with these original houses. Because they're UNESCO Heritage, they cannot change the look of the roofs. They have to be redone every 3 years, which are typically done by paid workers. And since younger people don't want to live in the houses, they belong, typically elderly people are living in them. And since the kids don't want the houses, they end up being given to the government. So the workers who fix the roofs then are paid by the government. And this lovely park is complete with a gorgeous garden. Complete with bees, always a nice sign. I think there's a grove of Jeju oranges. I didn't realize that there were so many different variations of oranges, even on this island. Oh, reminds me a little bit of my time in Kirikiri, New Zealand, when I could walk to the top of the lovely place I lived and see the orchard full of fruit. Looks like we are at the sculpture garden portion of our trip here. I'm presuming that all of this was made from the volcanic rock here on Jeju. Oh, the diving women. Really, really impressed with that culture here. Three-legged tree, wow, okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, now I feel a little weird because I thought I was at the exit and the park keeps growing and now I'm in a cactus field and I hope I make it back to my tour bus before it leaves without me. It's a little like being in a maze and I don't know the way out. I'm just going to follow those blue arrows. Now seems as good a time as ever to tell you how to get to Jeju Island. Well, the easiest way is to fly. You can go from several cities in South Korea. I went from Seoul. It was basically a 1-hour flight, very easy. You can take a ferry. I believe the ferry is 4 hours from Seoul and 12 hours from Busan, but it is a lot more expensive. So the flights are like $30 or $50 one way from Seoul, depending how early you book and whether you get the saver fare or whether that fare is sold out and you pay more. Once you're on the island, getting around can be complicated. So there are some buses, but lining up which bus goes where you want and the schedules will take some work because a lot is in Korean. If taxis from like north to south or one end to the other can be quite expensive. I'm doing a day tour. Klook, Viator, several companies do day tours, so those are easy enough to book. They are, at least at the making of this video, around $75 to $96 for the day. It is recommended to rent a car. It's the easiest way to get around. I will tell you, if you think you're going to do that, make sure to get an international driver's license back in your home country, or you can't rent a car here. And if you do, they're not cheap either. So depending on whether you are several people or solo, that will determine your budget and which is the best option. If there are a few of you, you might just want to split on a private driver and have them take you around for a day or two. Splitting the cost up would probably be more cost effective and you'll be with someone that knows the best spots to go. Yay, I found my way back. I'm not lost. Beautiful way to end my time here. And we're ending the day on a beach, complete with I don't know if they just got married or they're just walking off into the sunset in nice clothes. For those of you curious about what it's like to live as a full-time traveler, what do our accommodations look like? I've mentioned before that we are not independently wealthy and we are not living this luxurious lifestyle. This is a typical budget hotel room that I might stay in. So that I'm staying in now, I'm here in South Korea. So this is the room. So here's my window, which isn't really much of a window. This here is the bed. I have a table, as you saw over there. And then this is kind of cool because this door leads to the bathroom, which is in a separate room right here. So this room was about $27 US on booking.com and is the kind of room I stay in, especially if I can't find a house sit on trustedhousesitters.com or another app that I might use, or other living scenarios which there are many. But and sometimes this is interesting, youth hostels, I prefer my own room, and a private room in a youth hostel is often more expensive than your own room in a budget hotel. So that's why I'm here, and here's an example of what daily life is like.